someone would strike up a song, and the valley would ring with the sound of many voices, for singing is in my people as sight is in the eye.
Yo, welcome back to the channel. I'm Nick and this is Wales in the Movies. Today is the 26th of February, specifically 26th of February 2022. And that's an important day in the history of Wales, maybe, well, definitely in the history of Wales in the Movies. Why so? Because 80 years ago today, How Green Was My Valley, a film made in Los Angeles by an American, starring Irish, Americans and Canadian people, but written by a Welshman and most importantly set in a very Welsh part of Wales. How Green Was My Valley, of course, being set in the south, written by Richard Llewellyn, wins the Best Picture Academy Award in the 1942 Oscars, amongst a few other awards, and most importantly, beating Citizen Kane, what's regarded as possibly the most influential and best movie of ever in the process. So I'm just gonna ask you to stop for a minute and think about what a big deal that is.
Green it was and possessed of the plenty of the earth. In all Wales there was none so beautiful.
Okay, good, right, I hope you've learned something. So why am I making this video? Because we just don't talk about it enough, do we? I'm not a live watcher of television, I don't check the radio times or anything like that. So you tell me, is How Green Was My Valley ever on television? BBC Wales, ITV Wales, S4C even. The only thing I remember ever recall seeing about it was a little segment on a documentary called Wales and Hollywood on the BBC, which is about 15 years old. And as is typical of us, particularly of us in the movies, we don't talk about it, do we? I mean, the equivalent today would be a movie written by a Welsh author like Owen Shears or something, or Rachel Trezise, being adapted by the most respected director in Hollywood. So Paul Thomas Anderson, Christopher Nolan, Quentin Tarantino. Imagine one of those guys today directing a pulp Welsh novel and setting it in Wales and walking off with the Oscar. I mean, it's unthinkable, isn't it? This sort of thing just doesn't happen now. Yeah, it wasn't beyond the realms of possibility for it to happen then. Back in them days, American or British movies would often, you could say, be set in Wales. We've got a horror tradition and we've got a tradition of mining films. And I think we kind of just take it for granted that this film exists. Yes, there are problems with it, and all these things, these aspects of the Welsh representation, I'm going to explore in a couple of further videos. One of them will be a full retrospective episode of Cymru Views, and that's just started production, so fingers crossed. But the other is a comparison with the BBC television series of 1975, which starred, among others, Sian Phillips and Stanley Baker. In that video, I want to answer a question which I'm going to answer a little bit now, which is for modern viewers. I mean, I think most of my viewers are probably around my age and blokes, so 35 to 45 males, but some of you guys, bless you, are a bit younger, and I'm asking, is How Green Was My Valley watchable from modern standards? This is where I struggle to big the film up. Like, I got no problems with certain aspects of the film. It's director's quotes, because I think that a lot of the stereotypes that do exist about Wales internationally, and there aren't many, but a lot of them come from this film and its whole genre, i.e. the subgenre of mining films. And there's that famous quote by the New York taxi driver, like, you come from Wales, is that the thing in the ocean or those singing fellas? And that reputation of land of song obviously existed before this film, but I think internationally, particularly in the USA, this movie really cemented that positive stereotype. And I'm all about positive stereotypes. This is called nation branding, competitive identities, and I think these sort of things are natural, are positive, and we take them for granted. We kind of dismiss them in Wales, and we shouldn't do. So I'm asking, How Green Was My Valley watchable by modern standards? Oof, it's a tough one. Whenever I do watch it, which is normally about once every couple of years, I tend to watch it in chunks. Like, I might pop off and do the laundry, or do some admin or something, which isn't the best testament to its entertainment. I find it fascinating to analyse as a movie, not just from a Welsh perspective, but also the treatment. Philip Dunn, the screenwriter, his treatment of the novel, because yeah, I find the story clunky, quite frankly, but watched in 20 or 30-minute segments, I find it pretty entertaining. It's got a dream-like, hazy quality due to Arthur Miller's Oscar-winning cinematography, and the performances are good. The performance is good, the direction is good, and it looks like a movie. It should be in colour. It needs to be in colour because of that visual metaphor, but you may find some enjoyment, you know. You may find watching How Green Was My Valley worth 2 hours of your time, so I'm going to point you towards it, as is my job here on Wales in the Movies. Go and watch the movie, maybe even watch the TV series, maybe go and seek out the book, which had 3 sequels, which is a pretty rare thing in Welsh pulp, to have sequels, almost like a mining Gilfach Goch cinematic universe, you know. Go and check it out. Go and check out the other videos. I'm going to try and put a link to those other videos, like here, or probably here. Like, I still haven't got the hang of this stuff. I've only been doing the channel 7 years, you know. It's not long, is it? Give me time. Go and check out my other videos. Go and explore How Green Was My Valley. Don't take its existence for granted. Take this out into the world. Go and talk about it. For now, I'm Nick. This is Wales in the Movies. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Ta-da.